Go.
Okay, cool. All right, happy Monday, Team Invictus. Kara Harvey here, and we are on our weekly Zoom call. We are super lucky because we have an awesome guest today. One of my friends, Crystal Bailey, and she is going to be talking all about vision setting and creating a team culture, and you know how she's been able to really do this. Her team culture is just like, it's really awesome and it's unique, and it's something that we've been talking about a lot lately, so I'm glad that she's here to share with us. Just to kind of throw some logistics out there before we get started, now that we are just about to hit September, a couple things I've been posting on the page today, just to remind you, is tomorrow we'll start our volume contest. So for every 100 PV, you get entered into a raffle, and we're doing some wear and share. There's a video on there, so make sure you tag your coaches to see, where I show you how you can check your own volume and how you can find all that sort of stuff out. And then next Tuesday, we have the brand new coach training starting. So we have a Coach Basics and we have a Push to Emerald. So two different ones that are starting. So please fill out the commitment forms if you are interested, and make sure your coaches see that. Besides that, I am going to toss it over to Crystal, where I would love for you to share a little bit of your story first, and then she can dive right in. But I really recommend like having something to write with next to you so that you can kind of go through and, you know, when I think about like when Crystal speaks, she gives me a lot of ideas about team culture and like what I want to create. And I hope you take away from this, as each of your teams grow, like what you want out of it and the vision you create, and you can do whatever you want. So, you know, take some notes of things that you like and things that you want to implement. But, you know, you can feel free to mute me now, and then just go on with your story.
Okay. I don't need to mute you unless you want me to mute you.
Honestly, for my dog, they're going to bark. Okay. I don't want to mess up the recording.
All right. Hi, guys, and thank you so much for having me on your call, Kara. I'm super excited to kind of meet you guys. I'll open it up to questions, so I'll really meet you at the end. So, yeah, Kara was saying that she learns a lot from me, but I also learn a lot from her, and I actually just jotted down your 100 PV raffle ticket idea. I love that. And I think that's super important. This is kind of a side note. I think it's super important in your business, first of all, to show up to live events. That's how I met Kara, at Franklin Covey, I think, right? Is that where we met? Show up to live events and continue to show up to live events, and you make these really great friends that host team calls for you. She hosted mine a couple weeks ago on time management, something that I suck at. And then you also get to learn from each other. We had a local leadership meeting last week where we got to just have an open discussion and learn from each other. So I really think, I mean, I never would have met Kara. Yeah, we're both part of Team on Fire, but there's how many coaches on Team on Fire? I never would have met her if I didn't show up to a live event, if she didn't show up to a live event. So it's kind of a side note, but just something super important. Some of the best friends that I've made through Beachbody, I have met through live events. So anyway, I'm Crystal. I'm a 5-star diamond coach. I have been a coach since 2012. I had to think about it for a second. 2012. I was not one of those out of the gate coaches. I did have a good start in the beginning I had a good following on Facebook. So I had a lot of people who kind of wanted to do what I was doing. So people signed up. I went diamond within 6 months, but then I got there and I had no idea what to do. I had no idea how to lead. I had no idea what these people were expecting from me or what to expect in the leadership position. All I knew was my coach told me to get the diamond, so I got the diamond. And, I just basically told everybody, join me, join me, join me, but I didn't give them any hope or any promise because they didn't know what I was doing. And my coach didn't know what she was doing, so we were both kind of in it together. So I got to diamond really fast. I then spent the next year basically dragging my team along. Didn't know how to lead, didn't know how to influence people, and influence is a really, really big thing with leadership. And I eventually got to 2-star, but it was a very rocky 2-star. And then those 2 original diamonds are no longer coaches. Well, one's not a coach, one's no longer working her business. So I was back to diamond at the end of last year, and I also gave birth to my second child, my son, at the end of last year. And I was at the point, and I don't know everybody's belief system here, but I know Kara and I share similar beliefs. I was at the point that I was just in a heavy conversation with God saying, this is yours, or I give up because it's not working for me. And I'm still here, And that is at the end of last year, I decided with that to separate from, I was running a team with my upline, and I'm going somewhere with this whole story. The culture that we had in that team was nothing like the culture that we have now. And in retrospect, I can see why my team wasn't advancing, why I was dragging people, because I wasn't, first of all, the culture wasn't there. Second of all, I wasn't leading by a positive influence. You've seen that picture about bosses lead from the back and leaders lead from the front. I was one of those people leading from the back. Why aren't you hitting Success Club? With the whip. Why aren't you hitting Success Club? Why is this business not working for you? I was that leader because that's what I was being shown what a leader was supposed to be doing. And that's not what a leader was supposed to be doing. Now I know. Anyway, so gave my business to God. I was like, I give up or take over. He took over, and it's been amazing since. So I separated from my upline, and I spent that was in December. I spent the first maybe 3 months of this year, I didn't do one training. I didn't really talk about business. All I did was create the culture and build their confidence, build my team's confidence. I had about 100 coaches, give or take, but maybe 10 that are actually actively engaged and working. And all I did was build them up and build them up and build them up and create this culture that became a strong environment to start inviting to. So when I talk to you about these things that we've been doing within our team, I want you to think about it kind of twofold. I know I asked Kara what to expect from coaches that show up on her call. Are you guys seasoned coaches? Are you diamond, et cetera? And where you're at in your business. And she did tell me that a lot of you guys are newer coaches or newer emeralds. So maybe you're still very involved in Kara's team. So I want you to think about it from that perspective. How can I add to Team Invictus to create the culture that will help me to recruit other people to Team Invictus? And then think about it on the other side of the coin. When I do grow so big that I separate off on my own, what kind of culture am I going to create for my team as I grow in that direction? But regardless, hi Ashley, I'm just going to mute you because there's some background noise. Regardless, I just want you to take what I have to say as far as my team is concerned and make it yours. Not everything I do with my team may be something you want to do with yours, but just think about it from your perspective. How can you make it your own? So when I was creating Team Epic, my team's name is Team Epic. When I was creating Team Epic, a couple of things were important to me. I wanted it to be a strong name, but I also wanted it to represent something that when I recruited a new coach to my team, they were going to see the name, they were going to immediately want to represent what Team Epic stands for and represent the same or similar morals, values, and beliefs that I have. And that's not to say all my coaches are carbon copies of me, because they're far from it. But I just wanted to have the same basic morals because I felt like with that we could move forward very strongly together. So when I'm creating the team name, it was very important for me that coaches would see that and know what they're getting into, I guess, without before they join. So I talk about this all the time, and feel free to follow me on Facebook. I talk about my team all the time. So when coaches join my team, they already feel like they're a part of Team Epic, because I don't talk about Beachbody. I very rarely talk about Beachbody. I talk about the amazing thing and environment and family that is Team Epic. And so for me, EPIC stands for empowerment, positivity, integrity, and change. And I literally had a notebook and I was just scribbling everything that I wanted my team to represent. And that's where that name came from. I picked a few things that I could make an acronym out of, and it happened to be EPIC, which happens to be a strong word. So it all worked out. Excuse me. So creating a vision for your team. And for me, that was started with the name of the team and then the logo creation of the team. And I can show you, I think if I turn off my video, you can see my logo real quick. Yeah, that's my team logo. And I'll talk a little bit about that as well. So you saw at the top of our logo, it said, I am enough. So one thing that we started at the beginning of this year is this project, I Am Enough. And we found that having something bigger than Beachbody, having a mission beyond Beachbody has really made a difference for us. So Project I Am Enough is a mission that one of my diamonds and I came up with. And it started over a bag of pretzels, but I left out that I've also lost 100 pounds. And so the diamond that I was working with has lost 140 pounds. So we share similar journeys and similar struggles. And if you have lost any amount of weight, you know that sometimes you don't always see what everybody else sees, and you struggle a little bit with self-image and that kind of thing. So we were having a discussion one day, and she basically said to me, when are we ever going to accept that we are enough today? Like, maybe we're not at our best. Maybe we're not at our fittest. Maybe we're not at our smallest. Maybe we did eat too many pretzels, or, had too many drinks, or whatever the case may be. That doesn't change the fact that we are enough today. We're enough of a mother. We're enough of a wife. We're enough of a coach and a leader and everything else that God has called us to be in this life. So that kind of just snowballed into this whole Project I Am Enough, because we were saying, like, if we feel this way, how many other men and women, and we started with saying how many other women, but it's really blown our mind that men and women of all shapes and sizes and backgrounds really struggle with this concept. So we began sharing it as a part of our team culture. We built our team upon this I Am Enough concept. And because of where I've been, because of where she's been, we attract people like us by the law of magnetism. So we have people who have lost a lot of weight or have a lot of weight to lose and are on this journey and struggle with things beyond building a business. And it's important to connect with that before teaching somebody how to build a relationship. It's important to connect with who they are and really building the confidence in who they are before teaching them how to sell a challenge pack. Once you can connect with them and build them up as a person, the challenge packs, that's easy. The inviting, that's easy. It's really building them up as a person. So Project I Am Enough became the foundation of what we were doing within our team and then outside of our team. And we just started sharing it, and our coaches started sharing it. Our coaches started sharing it. And it really blew my mind. So this was the really the main thing that we built upon. And we went from having that 100 coaches to, in maybe March, I think we were about 100 coaches, to having almost 300 in August. And it just was from sharing and sharing and sharing. So I talked about, what do you want your team to represent? And I don't know, the things that you have going on your team. Maybe you guys can come together with Kara and brainstorm something that you could have to share beyond a challenge pack. There's 300,000 plus coaches. Anybody can sell a challenge pack. What makes you special? What makes your team special? Create that. And people will want to be a part of that. And if you don't know David McLean, he's part of the Philly Market Council with Kara and myself. And really, he was up for the $100,000 prize last summit, not this past summit, the summit before. He always says, and he taught me long ago, nobody wants a $100 bag of powder. Nobody knows what Shakeology is. Nobody wants that. What they want is what you have. They want to feel good. They want to have results. They want to feel confident. They want to feel strong. They want to have the results that you have. And if that means Shakeology, then awesome, sign me up. But they don't want a $100 bag of powder. And in the same capacity, they don't want just a business. They want to feel a part of something. They want to feel a part of something bigger than themselves and bigger than 21 Day Fix or P90X or whatever your program is that you're sharing. So we had that meeting last week, and it was really eye-opening for me to hear Dave and some of the other coaches that I've known for a long time talk about Team Epic and their perspective of Team Epic, because they knew me before Team Epic. They knew me when I was with my upline, and they saw me transition into Team Epic. And something that Dave said, which really was awesome for me to hear and stuck out to me, was he asked everybody, if you follow Crystal or any of her coaches, do you feel like Team Epic is its own brand? Like, it's not even really Beachbody. It's this Team Epic, and it's this family, and it's this environment that, and he's like, if I wasn't a coach, I would want to be a coach with Team Epic, because it's, and I'm not saying this to be like, yeah, Team Epic, but just, I'm saying this to encourage you to be that, to be more than just a program, to be more than just a bag of Shakeology. And maybe it's a Team Invictus thing, and maybe it's just a you thing. Why are you special? And create that family dynamic. So, and I will agree with Dave in that we've had people reach out to us and say, from the outside looking in, I see what you have with your team, and I just want to be a part of that. How do I sign up? And if that means 21 Day Fix and Shakeology, then they sign up because they want to be a part of that. And that, you know, it doesn't come overnight. It definitely takes some time to build. People are not drawn to salesy posts. People are not drawn to why they should buy P90X because it's on sale or what have you. They're drawn to purpose. They're drawn to a life of fulfillment. And that's Beachbody's mission, helping people live a healthy, fulfilling life. Like, live that out. Help people, genuinely help people to live a healthy, fulfilling life, not just physically, but mentally, spiritually, personally, in every capacity of their life, by creating an environment that they're feeling supported and they're feeling a part of something. So some of the things we do within our team that have helped us to create this environment. In the beginning, when it was a little bit smaller than what we have going on now, we did this thing where we shared our videos of our story. And people got really deep, but people really related to what the other women, we were mostly women at that time, we have a few guys now, what the other women were saying. They could really relate to who they were beyond Beachbody, and they were really connecting. And that was the foundations of creating the family dynamic, because they were understanding who their teammates were. Whether or not they were their personally sponsored coaches, they were understanding this person that they're doing life with. I always tell my team, let's do life together. Let's hang out. Let's talk about the things that are bothering us. Let's talk about the things we're struggling with. We're in this together. We're not just in business together. We're in life together. And that allowed them to really connect, and in turn allowed them to share what they were a part of. So that was something we did in the beginning. Things we have established since, we have a Team Epic book club. So we all talk about personal development. You don't want to get me started on personal development, because I will beat a dead horse forever, and that's another call for another day. I live by personal development. I breathe personal development. So anyway, we have a book club, and we pick a book, and honestly, I'll be straight up and honest, not everybody is on the same page all the time. We all struggle with it. Personal development is hard to do because it's something else that you have to add into your already busy schedule. And sometimes we're all listening to different things, but we have this book club where we come and we talk about the things that we take away from our personal development. Sometimes we're on the same page, sometimes we're not, but we're always learning from each other. Another thing we have is a coaches only challenge group, and it's an ongoing group where, you know, vital behavior number 2, we talk about, you know, what's going on in our own journey. We treat it just like we were a customer, and we come and we post our workouts, our struggles, our nutrition, you know, hey, so-and-so, can you hold me accountable because I'm really struggling right now? And we treat it just as if we were customers, but we're all coaches working together, so that we can continue to be proof that the products work. So we have the book club and we have the coaches challenge group. And then we have our main team page. And that's where we talk about empowering things. We have an empowering post of the day. We have people come in and obviously just tell stories about how they're living out the Epic mission, why, how they've changed since becoming a part of Team Epic or Team Beachbody or whatever. We have things like on Thursdays, every Thursday we have a coffee hour where it's just a post and one person manages it, and it's like Team Epic coffee hour, and we just talk, because when you're running an online business, you lose the opportunity for the chit chat that you would get in any other office or any other work environment. So if there's no chit chat, there's no relationships being built. It's all about business. So we have this time now. Obviously, we all have businesses to run. We all have crazy lives. So we don't chit chat all day long, but we have this time every week where it's Thursday afternoon. Everybody's feeling the urge for the weekend. We have a coffee hour, and we just talk what's going on in your life. And people talk about any and everything, and we have fun and we laugh. And sometimes it's serious and sometimes it's not. We just, you know, whatever's going on in your life, and we just start a conversation. And for an hour, And the conversation can go on well beyond an hour, but for 1 hour, one of the diamonds will lead the conversation and respond to people and just connect with the team. Another thing we have, and you saw in my logo, Hebrews 6:19, I love Jesus, and I am more than okay with that being a very present part of my business. I do let my coaches know you don't have to believe the same things that I believe to be a part of my team. But as the founder of Team Epic, it is important for me to have God at the forefront. So we have, and again, by the law of magnetism, I have attracted many, many people who believe similar things. And we're not all exactly raised the same way, but we believe similar things. We believe in the same God. And at one point it was every day was the whole timeline was like, pray for me this, pray for me that, pray for me this. And then there are some people on my team who are attracted to our mission and want to be a part of what we're doing, but don't pray to the same God or don't pray at all and don't have the same beliefs. So what we did to kind of streamline that was we have every Tuesday, we have a prayer request thread. And for those who want to pray for the team, they can come figure out what's going on with the team, or for those who need prayer, they can post there. So it's not kind of all over the place, and we can keep the team page mostly business, but that we also connect with what's beyond Beachbody for us. Some other things we do is every month, if you hit Success Club, you are challenged to a Success Club dance contest. We do videos, we do silly videos, sometimes we do size now. And we just have fun, and myself or one of the diamonds usually starts it, and then it kind of creates a snowball effect, and that week or 2 weeks where all you see is videos of people dancing. But for a new coach coming in, they're like, oh, this is a fun environment, and we have fun, we laugh at each other, there's no shame in our game, we are a bunch of white girls who can't dance, we just have fun. And then other things we do, like on top of Success Club, we have karaoke challenges sometimes, and it's just like, I'm all about morale and having high morale. And so if I feel morale is dwindling, which in August happens every year, when morale starts to fall, we do fun things. We have a karaoke contest, or we say, like, let's get to know your family, and I'll post a picture of my kids and say, show me your kids, or show me your husband or your wife, and tell me something funny about them. And we compare stories about our kids, or like I said, we have a karaoke contest, or I'm trying to think what else. It's kind of different every month. I'm not having a wall right now about what else, but we just, it's important for me for it to be about business, but for us to have a safe and a fun environment to be a part of. So all of that, everything that I've shared with you on what we do as far as team culture, allows for when we get together, it's like we're a big bunch of brothers and sisters, and we have fun and laugh, and we'll drink and eat and be merry, and it's fun. We just have a really good time together because we feel like we know each other, even through Facebook. And then when we have our team calls on Thursday nights, a lot of my coaches are like, I can't wait for Thursday night because it's my favorite place to be during the week is with my team on our team calls. And then because of all of this, when a coach, or a new coach specifically, but any coach, gets into a conversation with somebody about what they're a part of, about Team Epic, it's really easy for them to share because they don't have to think about it. It's genuine. They're passionate about it. They're excited about it. They're in it every day, and they love what they're a part of. So it's really easy for them to get in a conversation and say, yeah, I'm a Team Beachbody coach, but Team Epic is the place to be, and this is why. And they share these things that I've just shared with you. So I really attribute the growth that we've had over the past several months to, like I said, one, giving my business to God, and two, the team culture and the team atmosphere and the family dynamic. So what we're working on right now, I just said it before, August is a really challenging month, and a lot of people start to doubt themselves in this business. And so something that I created is a workshop, which we're doing just like in an event page. It's a workshop, and it's built around confidence. And just, I dove into every personal development book and audio and video I could think of, to come up with ideas and things to boost their confidence, and also help them to build their inviting skills. So that's something we're working on now, but I'm really big on like things don't have to be uniform every month. You know, as the leader, and all of you are leaders, and if you're a brand new coach, you will lead somebody one day. As the leaders of your team, feel out your team and feel what they need. This confidence workshop wasn't something we had, but as a leader, I could feel the confidence dwindling in my team. So I decided, hey, let's do this so we can build morale, so we can get to know each other again. And I'm not posting about business. I'm posting about fun things to build them up, to lift them up. And the confidence, when you build that confidence in yourself and in coaches, I'm telling you, the inviting, the challenge packs, the following up, all that extra stuff, all the technicalities that we learn about every day, that stuff becomes easier when they're confident in who they are, when they're confident in what they have to offer. They're confident in their team and who stands behind them. All of that extra stuff kind of happens, if that makes sense. So I think that's all I have for tonight, but I'm more than happy to answer any questions.
I don't have any.
I have some. What's with August?
Oh, what's with August?
Yeah, what's with August?
Oh, August is because everybody's going back to school. I've been a coach since 2012, and every August I felt like it's been the most challenging month because maybe because I deal with moms. I don't know. All moms are getting their kids back to school, and they don't want to spend money, and they're not ready to invest in themselves for time or whatever. It's not an impossible month. Don't get me wrong. It's not an impossible month. It's just a more challenging month. And so for new or newer coaches who are experiencing it for the first time, they feel like, oh my God, everybody's telling me no, it must be me, when in reality, it's just that time of the year. Does that answer your question?
Sorry, that makes sense because your schedule changes. I'm kind of feeling like that now. Like I need a routine.
Yeah. And it's the wind down of summer. Like everybody's doing their last minute traveling, last hurrahs, and all that fun stuff. But
so when did you start building your team?
My team in general or Team Epic?
Team Epic.
Last year, this past December, I kind of made the transition, but I had a baby December 10th. So it was kind of like, let's make this transition, but I'll be back in January. And then in January was when we really started to build it up.
Okay.
Any other questions?
You want asking questions? I will. Kara.
I know I was like keeping myself muted in case anybody else has questions because I can talk forever. But like Chris, this is like something we talked about Thursday at the leadership event. Like you guys know me, like I'm so freaking rigid and structured that like I need to like chill out and like relax and like not have an agenda for things. And it's something like, and I'll be 100% transparent. That has been my biggest struggle as our team is on track to double this month, from the beginning of the year to more than double. And it, from where we started is this trying to keep this mix of what we want the team page to be, a mix of business, but a mix of trying to get to know each other. And it's hard when, especially like this month alone, we had 40 coaches join our team. And like, I'm like, honestly, like, wow, I don't know a lot of these people. And it's a hard transition for me as a leader to know like what the heck the right thing to do is. And so like listening to you, and like we talked about this Thursday too, just like how to, like I got a lot of really good ideas I want to run by some of my leaders too, like without having to like completely overhaul everything, because that's me. I'll be like, let's do all like 12 ideas at once, and then like shut up. Like that's how I am. Like picking which ones really could be the most impactful to continuing to have like a family environment, but knowing it's a business too. I think that's not really a question. I'm just airing out my feelings right now. But like, you know what I mean? Like it's a tough balance, because in my head I'm thinking like, where are we going to be in a year? Like, what the heck is it going to be like with 300? Like, I don't even know 300 people. Like I can't even imagine. So it wasn't really a question.
It definitely is. And I hear where you're coming from. And something that, and I talked about this last week too, something that I've made clear with my coaches, like those core girls that were really connecting in the beginning, they experienced this growth, and some of them didn't know what to do with it. Some of them were like, I'm not connected now. Crystal doesn't care about me because, her team is growing. And I very, very nicely and with a big open arms for a big hug told my coaches, like, I didn't get into this for a girlfriends club. I've become friends with many of you, but if we don't grow as a team, then what are we here for? We're here for a girlfriends club. And I've told them that in a really nice way, but it's true. And I think that, and that's what I was kind of thinking when you were saying you have all these ideas, just wait until you hit 5-star girl. The wall is like idea overload. But what I was thinking to you guys is take it easy on your leader, because we try so hard to be everything to everybody. And sometimes, and not sometimes, we never can be everything to everybody. So if you do have ideas, or I tell my coaches, don't be my yes men. I don't want a bunch of yes men around me, because that's not going to help me to grow. If you think something is a good idea and Kara hasn't thought of it yet, bring it to her attention. Say, hey, I'd love to try this. Can we try this? I love when leaders come to me with ideas. The book club, the Coaches Only Challenge group, the coffee hour, all of those were brought to me by leaders on my team who said, hey, I think this will be a good idea. Can we try it? And I know Kara, and I know that she is very structured, but I know she's also open to ideas and trying new things. And I think that's why we work well together, because I'm so not structured.
But you don't make me think. You saw my face. They were talking on Thursday at this event. They were talking how the one team says they do their team calls more of like a social hour where they get on and talk goals, or I don't even know, they just like shoot shit and talk to each other or whatever they do. And like my face was probably like, so without an agenda. But like the more I think about it, the more it's like, because the Team on Fire calls are coming back, because there's so much other training, I don't want to like waste people's time with something that feels like it's just like fun time, but at the same time, like that's so important to do, so like thinking how to balance that. So all of you, don't worry, because I'm going to be asking you guys what you think very soon on like what we want to do for September to have that balance, because it's important to have, and I like forget to be balanced most of the time. So it's good to hear that it doesn't have to, like, it's a business, yeah, but it doesn't have to be all business all the time type of a thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? If that's not the culture you want, like thinking about each of you that are on here and the people listening to the recording, like really start thinking like, what kind of team do you want to grow? And like when I branched out from Hillary, it was just because I was ready to do that, and I felt like I wanted to create my own team culture. And I said, what do I want it to be? And I've kind of gone from there. And I know a lot of you lately have been asking me like, I want to create a team name or what do I do? And I'm stumped. And it's always like kind of how Crystal said, like start with the vision. Like I didn't do it this way, so I wish I had, but like start with the vision. Like what do you want it to be? And then kind of go from there. But don't feel like you have to have a fancy name or any of that. But if you have in your heart, like what do you want it to be, go with it and stay on our team page as long as you want, or branch off whenever you feel like it's right. That's always like a hard decision too, but know that, I don't know.
And while you're growing, Karen said this, like leadership is tough, and branching off on your own is great. And I think everybody who has coaches should have a page where they connect directly with their coaches, but don't leave the nest until you're ready, kind of thing. And that's not to say you won't fail forward, because you will, but leadership has its many, many, many challenges. So if Kara's willing to embrace you and allow you to be a leader within Team Invictus, take advantage of that and step up and be that leader and help create that culture. And as you grow and you see what your direct team needs, then feed your team what they need. But if you have a few coaches and maybe they are really enjoying the Team Invictus culture, then nurture that too. Personal development. Read Leadership Personal Development. It helps. It makes a difference. 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, one of my best books. I'm currently in the middle of Entre Leadership. And I'll tell you what, I've started to read Entre Leadership maybe 5 times, and I haven't gotten past chapter 2. And I picked it up the other day. It's been sitting on my desk for months, and I picked it up the other day, and I'm halfway through, and I can't put it down. And I said to my other half the other day, I just think that I'm at a different place in my leadership and in my business, that I'm receiving this information well. So if you're reading a book and you're not receiving the information well, maybe it's not the right time for that book. put it to the side and pick a book that is going to help you right now where you're at. And down the line, you might be ready for that book again. But 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, I think anybody is ready for. John Max.
21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership.
It's funny that you said that, because I was just about to ask you if there's anything that you've come across in your personal development that helped you the most while building your team. And you started answering already. So,
it was funny, as I saw your face, I said, I think that's about to be his question. Let me go ahead and answer.
it's exactly right. So the 21 laws, and I heard you say another one, and I wasn't able to write it down.
It's Entre Leadership by Dave Ramsey. Another good one, if you haven't read this one yet, Macro Network Marketing Business by Sarah Robbins. This is great for new coaches and also great to recommend for new coaches. When I was creating the confidence workshop, that's why it's sitting here. I pulled this out to, there's some heavy noise coming on this call. I pulled this out for her inviting tips, but it's similar to GoPro, but it's a little bit more modern, so I felt like I connected with it better than GoPro. Definitely a good book. That was a Melanie Mitchell recommendation. So.
Thank you.
Of course. You guys have any other questions for me?
I don't think so. I don't want any more coaches right now, I'll tell you that.
What?
I'm good.
What'd you say?
I said I don't want any more coaches right now, I'll tell you that.
Oh, you don't want any more coaches?
Yeah, I was really fast out of the gate, and now I'm trying to find a balance.
Oh,
so I'm gonna get some of these books that you recommended and just
Nurture the ones you have
for a while before I bring on any. I don't want any new ones. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I'll say too, Kristen, we kind of talked about this, but like we talked about this, but like the first like couple months of coaching, I didn't sign any coaches. Like when I started coaching, because I was scared. I was like, I don't know what the heck I'm doing. So I'm just not going to sign any coaches. And I didn't, like, once I started coaching, I didn't sign anyone for a really long time. And the thing I want to impress to everyone is that's like kind of what Chris was saying about like our team page. Like, I'm not like kicking anybody out. Like, you guys are more than welcome to like stay as long as you want. And we have some really great tools and resources that you don't have to reinvent things. You don't have to come up with your own systems and figure out your team culture today. Like, it's taken me 3 years to even sort of kind of know what I want. And so thinking about it in that sense of like knowing that they're entering this team, and I think our team is amazing, that has, our family, and we have all these great resources, and everyone's willing to help each other, and know that it's there, and that it may not be like your team, but that's okay. Like, I didn't start my own team till I had like 20 of my own coaches, and I just kind of like had them stay on Team on Fire for a long time until I felt ready to kind of like start to branch out and lead. And I think it's important to just know, like, we have tons of stuff for you. So whether you sign one coach or 20, you can keep everyone in as long as you want and have them use our team training page. Like, that resource is great. And I was showing some of the other coaches it, because now that it's finished, like, plug people into it. And I don't want anyone to feel like they have to make their own stuff or reinvent the wheel just because, like, I like to play around on the website. Just because I'm doing it doesn't mean like you have to. I think sometimes people forget, like, I have been doing this for 3 years. Do you know what I mean? And like, it's not like I've been a coach for like a month and I'm like, all right, let me come up with this crazy website and like do all this stuff. Like, it's just stuff I found from other people over time. And when you're ready to do that, and that's why I run the Coach Basics. Like, when you're ready to run your own Coach Basics or start your own team page, know that you can take whatever resources that we have and feel free to use them. Like, take them, go for it. That's why like all the templates and everything are up there so that no one feels like they have to create everything. Because I know for me, that was a roadblock I hit in the beginning, was I'm not ready to be a leader. Like, I was too afraid to lead. Who was I? No one was going to listen to me. And I had to like shut myself up, do a lot of personal development. And like, that has been my biggest, and like work on my own confidence and saying, and like, fake it till you make it. Like, I say it to myself every day, like, feel it or not, I say it. And so like, remind yourself that daily, and don't be scared to like add people, because we want to grow them so we can grow them together, and there's power in that. Because what you do, your coaches duplicate.
Right.
So like, think about that too. I was afraid to sign coaches. So when I started signing coaches, then none of my coaches signed coaches for a really, really, really long time because I wasn't doing it. And like, I tell some of my Emeralds and above all the time, like, yeah, my goal is Success Club 10 every month, and my goal is 5 coaches a month. And it's not so much to grow the team, but it's to show you guys it's possible, like to show you that it's there. So think about that too, as you grow your team, and don't let the fear, because it can be paralyzing. You have to fail forward and right. I don't know, just go with it.
There's 2 more that'll be joining by the end of this week. So that'll be 5. And then I want a break, just maybe a week to just calm down a minute. And then I'll enroll more.
5 coaches this week?
No, I had 3 last week and now 2 for the end of this week. And now I just want, since I'm very, very, very new, I need maybe a week to establish my own routine to kind of maybe enroll in one of the coach-only challenge groups.
That makes sense.
And then I'll add more.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. I agree with what Kara's saying. The speed of the leader is the speed of the pack. So if you want your team to grow, you got to keep growing too. But I totally agree with what you're saying. Get a solid ground and get them started right, and then keep growing. Don't wait.
I won't.
Because I will also do that. First, Crystal, Kristen's been coaching 2 weeks, so that's the crazy in that sense too. But the other thing is, where I really struggle though is with onboarding new coaches in mass. And for me, some people like to sign up 10 to 20 coaches a month, and that's just never going to be the type of person I am, because I can't give those new coaches the attention I want to give them. And that's my vision for the team. That might not be yours, for your team. And so, you have to make your goals, know what's in your realm of control that you can do so that you're doing it right and building the relationship. Because I've had months where I've signed a lot of coaches and I don't know where half those coaches are now. Do you know what I mean? Because I wasn't able
to do that.
And so it's really saying what am I able to do? How am I able to onboard them? And what works for your vision is really important.
I'm guilty of that also. It's tough. You get to the point, the more you build your reputation as a coach, and I know for me, when I hit 5-star, it was people started coming to me. All of a sudden they took me seriously. They've been watching me forever and they wanted to do what I was doing. I was like, whoa, slow down. People were like, oh, how do I sign up for what you're doing? You're making money, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, hold the phone. But I've been guilty of that as well. So I have got into, and I was asking top leaders, how do you do this? How do you balance it all? And where there was an onboarding webinar that Melanie Mitchell did for the East region. And I'm with the notion, and Janelle Summers taught this a long time ago, equip everybody, work with the willing. So everybody is going to learn differently. I try to provide training in video form, in writing, in documents, in team calls, in every different way I can for my whole team. Because I recruit several coaches a month. I don't know, maybe 5, 6, 7. I don't know. It depends on the month. So what I do for me, and what seems to be working well, is I have a website like you that kind of just walks them through the basics. And then I have a self-serve new coach training. And once they get through, and it's just a Facebook page separate from our team. And it's once they get through the self-serve training, which some people do in a day, some people need a week, some people need a month. At the end of that training, it says, schedule a one-on-one call with me. I also do group getting started right calls for new coaches. So somebody like Kristen, who she's like, I don't really know how to get all these coaches started right, but I want her to keep her momentum. I host Zoom calls for new coaches for my entire downline to get them started right. And I teach them a concept called Win the Day, which will have to be another call, but I think Kara knows this, so maybe she can teach it to you one day. I teach them a concept called Win the Day. It's basically control the controllable. And I teach them 5 to 8 things, their why, their goals, or some example goals that they should set. And I have those twice a month so they can plug into that. And then once they get through all that, they can schedule a one-on-one with me where I connect more with their why. Because then I know that those are the people that want this, that want to work, that I'm not going to be talking till I'm blue in the face and they're not going to do what I'm saying to do.
Okay. That makes sense.
So that's what I found. I mean, again, I've also been at this 3 years and a lot of failing forward. So that's what's working right now. I also tell every single coach who ever goes to an event or gets on a call, take everything you hear and apply it to how it works for you. Not everything I say has to work for you. Not everything Kara says has to work for you. And the other millions of calls and events and trainings you'll hear in your career as a coach. You don't have to take everything everybody says. Just figure out what's going to work for you and make it yours.
Okay.
Okay, well, I just like looked at the time. I was like, oh my gosh, we took so much of your time. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Crystal. I love you. You're amazing, and I appreciate this because it's timely for me, but I think it's timely as the team is growing that everyone just starts to think about it. And I think with Busting Diamonds too, the assignment to create your own team name and team page. That's where a lot of my coaches were asking me tons of questions about it, and so it kind of I think came at an appropriate time. So. We really appreciate this. I know I'm excited that we hit record so I could watch it again and go through my notes again. And for my team, be ready because I'm going to be throwing in some ideas and need some input because you guys know it's our team. So we got to figure it out together what works for us right now and it can evolve. So I want to thank everybody for getting on. Thank you for your time and I hope you all have a great week.
Thank you so much for having me. Bye.
Thanks.
Thanks,
Bye.
Kara. Thanks, Crystal.